What's up guys, welcome back to Saint Seiya Awakening and to the next of our S-Saint reviews. Today we'll be looking at Sea Dragon Kanon, and yes, I'm back here in the Codex because I still have not summoned him. Now, I had already planned on reviewing him, and it's actually the perfect timing because he's back on the banner. Surprise, out of nowhere, he's back on the banner. I think this guy is absolutely worth getting. He makes a lot of the PvE elements in the game a lot easier to accomplish. Most importantly, Elite Shrine, which if you saw the video that I put out next week, I think the only way to beat it right now is using this guy's skills. Before I forget, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and now let's go check out what makes this guy so special. Alright, I'm back here on my friend Omri's account so that we can review this guy proper and see him in action. Starting off with his skills, the first one is a simple Cosmo damage attack, just like most other Saints in the game. It doesn't do anything very special. The second skill is actually a 340% multiplier Cosmo attack. Now this sounds great, and it is actually a really high multiplier for Cosmo damage. It's only one enemy though, and believe it or not, this is not what makes him great. Even though it's a really high nuke, and he could end up clutching a fight every now and then with it, it's not really why you're going to bring him in the team. The reason you're bringing him is actually skill 3, the Golden Triangle. This thing exiles one enemy Saint to another dimension for one round, during which 72%, in this case because he skilled him up, it starts at 64%, during which 72% of the total Cosmo damage received by your teammates, this is a typo, this is not the Cosmo damage received by your teammates, it's the Cosmo damage that your teammates do to the enemy. Okay? So 72% of the Cosmo damage done by your teammates to the enemy will be passed into that other dimension, dealing damage to the exiled enemy, which is calculated when the enemy returns. If the enemy dies when damage is calculated, all enemies will take true damage equal to 85% of the overflow part of the damage. Astronauts of the exiled target will not be calculated. This thing gives me a headache, but let me try to sum it up, okay? The way it works is, you're going to banish one of the enemies into another dimension. Put them in this little golden triangle, right? During the time that the enemy is in that triangle, you're going to do as much Cosmo damage as possible to the enemies. That's why he pairs really well with AoE Cosmo damage dealers like Poseidon, like Arayashiki Shaka, and like Saga, right? So you're going to do as much Cosmo damage as possible, and a certain percentage of that damage is going to be absorbed into that other dimension. Now, when the enemy you banish comes back, that damage gets applied, and if the enemy dies, any leftover damage is applied to all of the other enemy units, okay? So let's use numbers to try to picture that. Let's say you banish someone and you do 20,000 Cosmo damage in the meantime, or the triangle absorbs 20,000 Cosmo damage, just to use a round number. When that enemy pops out, if they have only 10,000 HP and you did 20,000 damage, then they're gonna die and there's gonna be 10,000 damage left over. Some of that damage is gonna be distributed among all the other enemies. So in essence, when the exiled enemy comes back and dies, it's a nuke that affects everyone. Now this sounds really complicated, and it sounds like there wouldn't be that much damage left over, and the multiplier is kind of weird, it's not 100% of the damage, but believe me, when this thing is actually in action, it is a ridiculous amount of damage. If you saw the Elite Shrine video that I posted last week, you'll know that the numbers you get from this thing when you do enough damage are through the roof. This is the skill that makes him amazing, because he's able to clear some of the levels in PvE that would otherwise be almost impossible. Like, I don't know if there's a way to actually clear Elite Shrine without using this cheese strategy with him. I don't know if you can just have a straight up fight, at least not with the Saints and the Cosmo that we have right now. The fourth skill is a passive, and it's really not very important. When he dies, he comes back as Saga, and he inherits some of the attributes, but only 4% HP. Okay, so he's really easy to finish off. If any of the other enemy units move before this guy gets a turn, he's really not going to do much. It's only 4% HP, and it only lasts for 2 rounds. If you happen to pull some dupe cannons with the ongoing banner, then definitely the skill that you should level up is the Golden Triangle. The second one is nice, but you're not going to be using the nuke very often. It's very likely that every round you'll use the Golden Triangle and win the battle that way. Alright, now getting into his Cosmo, one of the other great things about Kanon is that he doesn't require amazing Cosmo in order to work, because he's not really the one doing the damage, right? You want super stats on your other attackers, which leaves all those straggler Cosmo, the ones that are not really that good, you can put them on Kanon and he'll still do what he needs to do. The important stats on him are going to be speed, to make sure that he moves before your Cosmo attacker, HP, to make sure that he survives, and if you can get some resistance in there, that would be great, because his one weakness is control. If he gets silenced, stunned, frozen, he won't be able to get the golden triangle off, and there goes your whole plan. So again, speed, HP, and some resistance if you can get it. He obviously benefits from Cosmo attack in case you ever need to use his nuke, because it's the last resort. It's going to be the deciding factor between winning the battle or not, is if Kanon can kill someone, then you might as well go with Cosmo attack. So in the red, go with Sea Stone and Eagle Eye. Your Rosary are probably going to be reserved for the big nukers we already talked about. You're not going to want to waste really good Rosary on Kanon. Under Lunar, just go with general tankiness, go with tenacity, get some defense, get a lot of HP on him, make sure that he survives until he gets to move. Under Star, New Moon, no doubt is the best one. You're gonna have to have a lot of speed on him to make sure that he moves before your nukers. This is super important also for the strategy we discussed for the Elite Shrine. He also needs a lot of speed. So I think New Moon is the best. Hummingbird has speed as well, but as I already mentioned, you're gonna want that for your big nukers. In the Legendary, it really doesn't matter. You can go with some more speed, you can go with some more HP. He's really only there to apply his skill. The skill is 100% proc rate, so you don't really need status hit on him either. So it's really whatever you have available, whatever's left over. Go with speed if you need it, or go with HP for tankiness. He's really very, very flexible. He's also great in that he doesn't need to be a 6-star in order to do amazing work. You can leave him at 5 stars, and that's plenty enough. You don't need to go beyond that. There's no need to 6-star him. It would be a waste of resources because he doesn't need it. His weakness, as we already mentioned, is control, but also I would mention the high energy cost of his triangle skill. This thing is 4 energy, so if you wanted to pull off a combo on turn 1, that's a lot of extra energy you need to bring in. You're definitely going to have to play a Luna faster than Kiki for a double energy generation, and you're going to have somebody on March Fairy for sure. Now, the only way that you can do a turn 1 nuke is with Saga or Poseidon. You can't really combo him with Araya Shikishaka because he requires 4 energy. And the maximum you're going to have after March Fairy and a double Kiki with Luna is going to be 7. So that fits perfectly. You can 4 energy for a triangle and then use 3 to nuke with Saga or Poseidon's Wave. Other than that, his teams are really sort of limited by the fact that he is a one-dimensional thing, in that he comes in and he does one thing and he depends on the other guys to do the damage, okay? So surround him with energy generation, surround him with some heals, I guess never hurt, but really you're hoping to kill as soon as possible. So it's really just energy and somebody to do damage, and you're good to go. As for his uses in the game, like I mentioned earlier, he is great for cheesing those really ultra hard levels like Elite Shrine, Epic 11 Guardians, and maybe even the Titans Guardians. He's also amazing in Athena Trial because you can one-shot most waves, so you'll have at least one part of the floor pretty much ready to go, right? You're gonna Kanon Saga one part of the floor, and then you'll just have to figure out the second one, but you can save all of your better units for that second half and clear. That's basically how my friend Omri has been able to reach this floor 52 stage 4 of Athena Trial, okay? He's number 1, he's untouchable, he's number 1 by 3 floors, and he just tells me he Kanon Saga's one half, and then he goes all out with all the other units on the other half. So he's number 1 in our server for Athena Trial, based mostly on a Kanon strategy for half of the floor. Alright, so I'm back here in the trial section of the Sacred Duel, just to get an idea of what we can do. And it's gotten me a while to get here because we need one of these guys to die, and they have like infinite freaking HP. Okay, so we're gonna triangle this chubby guy over here, right? Banish him to another dimension, and we're on slow speed, not ×3, just so we can get an idea of the damage. I'm gonna go with the big nuke from Saga here. Now we can only nuke once, even though we have double turn because of the energy requirement. But that's a pretty big nuke. That's 27k to all of these guys. We're gonna do a little bit more chip damage here. This is also Cosmo. We actually got the 3 turn. This is also Cosmo damage, so it counts towards the damage that this thing is absorbing. Remember, all of the Cosmo damage that we do while this poor guy is trapped in this dimension is then gonna be applied to that guy when he comes out, and the excess damage after he dies is gonna go onto the entire enemy line. Alright, so let's see what happens when this poor dude pops out of the triangle. He's probably gonna get like 100k damage. So yeah, over 100k damage, and then each of the enemies got 100k damage as well. They didn't die because in this trial section, everybody has like 1 trillion HP. But you can kind of get an idea of the ridiculous numbers you can see with the Triangle Saga combination.
No way we're gonna get the rock, you know that.
Oh, we're gonna get it. Alright guys, so for a showcase today, I thought we would do things differently. Or rather, Omri thought that this would be a good idea. In order to showcase his Kanon, I'm gonna fight him. This is not gonna be a fair fight. But we're gonna fight him, and we're gonna see the damage that's gonna come out. You know, when I pop out of the triangle and Saga has hit me once, it should be pretty outrageous because his Saga is probably the best Saga on the server. It's insane. Alright, so let's see what kind of damage we can do. And what's up, Bomber? You can say hello to YouTube and the world. Say hello to Mom. Alright, so I'm just gonna do whatever for now. My turns don't matter. What matters over there is first Luna giving the double turn to Kiki, so he can generate some extra energy. He also has Kiki on March Fairy, so that's even more energy. But in order to actually pull off the first turn triangle into Nuke, he needs his data loss to proc a rock extra energy generation. Otherwise, you don't have enough. In PvP, you don't have enough for turn 1 if you don't proc a rock proc. Alright, that's a lot of procs and rocks. But let's see if we can get it. If not, we'll try again. We got, oh my god, he actually got it. Alright, let me speed this down. His Saga is now gonna nuke my team. Mind you, I'm eating a nuke from a buffed up Super Omega Saga. Alright, so he takes my whole party down to about 50% HP. But more importantly, a lot of that damage was just absorbed by the triangle. So when my poor Luna pops out of the triangle, I'm expecting my entire team to disappear from the face of the earth. Okay, it doesn't matter what I do here. Once this has happened, even if I can take down 5 of his units, the second my Luna, oh my god. The second my Luna moves, we're done. Thank you, Omri. It's always fun losing to you.
Pleasure.
Feels bad. Awesome. Alright, so that's how you would use him in PvP. You can go for a second round if you don't have the rock proc, or if you manage to get that rock proc in the first round, then you can do that and pretty much wipe your enemy in by the start of the second turn. It's really, really OP. Alright guys, that's going to be it for Kanon. That was actually a lot of fun doing the showcase that way. Thank you again to Omri for always being so willing to help out with his account and with whatever's going on with the stream and with the channel. To sum it up, Kanon is an amazing unit for hard PvE content and also has his uses in PvP. Now remember, the only important thing is for your party to stay alive long enough for the enemy to come out of the triangle, right? Because you apply it first turn, and then you need a second turn to come around for that enemy to pop out and the damage to be distributed to everyone. If you can do that though, you're pretty much golden. As you saw, the damage is overwhelming. It's really, really hard to survive, and it makes him super interesting because it's a unique mechanic in the game. There's nobody in the game that can do what Kanon does. So I'll be summoning for him. I tried 10 shots already this morning, didn't get lucky. So for the rest of the week, I'm probably going to be doing 10 shots every day unless I get a luckiest maybe beginnings and endings clue, and then I'll go all out and try to finally get me my own Kanon. I hope the review was useful. Hit like and subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!